Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to use a Prym knitting Nancy or knitting dolly, whatever you like to call it. It came the other day, and I do like the way it makes cute little icords that come out of the bottom here. So it's got 4 prongs at the top there, metal ones here, and we're literally going to be looping some yarn, and I'm going to show you how to do that now, to make the beautiful icord. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you've got all your tools with you. So I've got the knitting Nancy, some scissors. This is the hook that came with it, which you'll be using to take off the stitches. But I prefer a slightly more sort of angled hook there, but I'll show you both so you understand what I mean. And then the only other thing you need is a needle. So I'm going to go with quite a thick needle, but you can use a tapestry needle. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to put this yarn ball on the floor so it's out of the way, and I'm going to take the end and we're going to put it down the middle of the knitting Nancy. So just put it down the middle. You can thread a needle to do this. This one doesn't seem to be too bad, so let's do that again. Down we go, and it comes out at the bottom, and you're going to pull it and just hold on to it. Okay. So you've got your yarn coming out of the top, and we're going to actually just cast on our 4 stitches. And to do that, you go round in a sort of an E, round each one, and round again, and round again. So I've done 4. I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. So back to the beginning, round, and then round, round, and then round. And you've now got 2 on each peg. I'm going to hold that so it's not going to come off, and then you can use either of these tools to take one loop over the other loop. So I'm going to use my old faithful one. So I'm going to start, so this is my last one here. So I'm going to turn it around and then take off, make sure that you can see the first one here. It's quite loose. And then just going to pull down to tighten it up. Turn it around, and then do the same again on the second peg. Now you can either tighten it up as you go, or tighten it up at the end of the round. Over again. You've got to try and get each of the little threads tighten, and then one more, which is this one here. And there it is, just over it comes, and then pull tight. It will look better once you've done a few rounds. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same again. So coming in from the back, we're going to go round, 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 and round, and then stop, and then do exactly the same again. So over and off, and then pull to tighten, turn. Once you've done this a few times, it'll get a lot quicker. Over and off. Be careful you've got all of that thread there, and then pull down to tighten again, and then over and off, and then pull. I always like to pull at the end of each stitch, and then over and off again. Make sure you get all of the threads, and then pull tight. This is what I have at the moment. And once you've done a few more, you'll start to see the I-cord forming. Exactly the same as what you did. I like to hold that working yarn down so it's not going to unravel. So over and off. See, I've missed one there. Pull down and then turn. So pull down again and then turn. I'm trying to keep it in the camera, sorry, there. And then my last one. Again, you won't see very much, but you can just see it starting to come through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away and I'm going to do a few more so you can see what it will look like as you go. So this was my last one here. So you go round, round, round and round. You've got to make sure that you've got 2 on each peg. If you haven't got 2, something's gone wrong. Turn. As I say, you will get quicker once you've done it a few times. I'm just doing it super slowly so you can sort of see what I'm doing. Oh, now you see on this one that came off, so I've got to do that again. So I've got to go round, and that was my last one. So you've got to be very, very careful. Where did it go? Round again. There we are. So this is the one that's got to come over like that. You've got to be so careful to keep them in place. Okay, so round, round, round and round. I have got a wooden one of these, but the prongs are quite a bit smaller. It's even easier for the stitches to come off. And then there, so. And then I'll do this one here. There we go. So you can see now it is starting just to form there. So I'm going to go a little bit longer and then show you what it looks like when it's coming out of the bottom. Okay, so I've done a few more now and you can see how it's looking as it comes out of the end. Hopefully you can sort of see that. It's quite springy. This is a cotton sort of DK thickness, I think it is, but you get the idea as to what it will look like, a nice little plait sort of thing. So to finish, what you would do is you would just cast off. Now I'm not going to, because I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use it for something else. So there's a few things that you could do. You could cut your yarn and then put your needle through and then catch each of these stitches, because these are all live. You take your needle through with the working yarn and pull to secure them. The other thing that you could do, which I find a little bit more tricky, is again cut your yarn and then with your hook you would take your yarn and you put it again through each stitch to secure it. I find that more tricky. I prefer to use the needle, but you could take, let's try and show you, take the working yarn and you'd bring it through, and then that would make your stitch secure. But I prefer to use a needle, but you use whatever works for you. For now, I'm just going to take it off so you can see how it looks. So I am going to reuse this, which is why I'm not securing it. but it gives you an idea as to how it would look. Now, something may have gone wrong there. I may have done something a bit strange there, but it's all practice, and it gives you an idea as to how to create an icord. Hope you found that useful, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.